You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
At the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream, this is AfterBuzz TV for the Sing-Off. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip about the Sing-Off. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, it's AfterBuzz TV for the Sing-Off.
Hey, everybody! It's AfterBuzz for the Sing-Off. I am Tamara Berg. I'm here with Lady Steve Bottomley, Ronnie Jr.,
I'm the Rastafari.
Kimma Yingling, and Jesse Janity. In case you don't already know, it's Halloween. And instead of giving out candy to little children, we are here hanging with you to talk about the Sing-Off. We've got some beautiful pumpkin tartlets.
Oh, they are scrumptious.
That I made. And
I had to lose half of my outfit because I could not speak.
Where did your dentures go already?
Are they in the drink?
I put them in the drink. It's bubbly.
Okay. So before we go any further, can we just talk about our outfits?
Yeah.
I know we were just going to go right on through, but it's more fun to talk
Let's
about
talk
it.
about
so
them.
You guys, can they stand up, Jesse? And can you? Yeah. Why don't you guys stand up so that we can see all of your very cute little outfits?
We even have matching shoes. Look at Ronnie, put your shoes
No,
up.
you do?
We have black
Nice.
black shoes.
Fantastic. And you are obviously cows.
Cows, we're cows.
Because
I can't censor the udders though.
yeah. So just
Seriously,
gosh.
Ronnie, when you put your foot on that thing with your udder right there, that was just weird looking.
it just was wrong.
Was there a crotch shot? I'm sure there was.
But you were.
Your udder shot.
You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome.
And is there a connection to the Sing-Off with this outfit?
The cows?
No,
wait. I bought these like 8 years ago.
No, wrong story. What is it? The cows sing? What is it?
Yes!
Give me the. Hold
Yes!
on. We said it at the liquor store when
Oh, right, because we all go to the liquor store before we do the Sing-Off. Just
That's
wanna
why
say.
we're a little nutty.
It's one of our ground rules.
No, it's
Singing until the
Yes,
cows come
singing till the-
home.
That's right.
We are singing till the cows come home.
Nice.
Nice. Oh,
And
yeah,
you, Steve,
I'm
can you please put everything back together
I'd
again?
love to.
Yeah, it looks so good.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Magic. Oh, they're not my real teeth. I'm the singing nun. How do you solve a problem like me?
Oh man, that was a gnarly hunk of spit that came out right there.
It's hanging on your chin. It's coming out right here.
Yeah, take out the
Go.
teeth, stick them in your
Wipe it
glass,
off.
Put your teeth back in the water.
Much like it happened at the monastery.
Okay, and I am wearing my Dia de los Muertos Calacas makeup.
Which you did by yourself.
I did, and I made
Where
those
did you get
shirts.
the white?
She did it while she was stuck on the 405.
I
Going
wanted
2
to
miles
do
an hour,
that this year.
What? Oh, that kind of makeup?
That.
That looks slick.
I love it.
Have you
I
ever
love
been
it.
to the...
I'd like to go around every day like this.
You should.
Right?
Yeah. Next Monday
Have you
we
been
should
to
see
the
you just
thing
like
at
that.
the Memorial Cemetery?
At Hollywood
for
Forever.
De las de la
I
Camorcas.
haven't. No.
It's the
wild.
largest
Really?
Dia de
When is
los.
it?
It's at Hollywood Forever. They usually do it a week before. It's like 2 Saturdays before Halloween. It's at Hollywood Forever Cemetery, and it's the largest Dia de los Muertos event in the country. And
So it's
people
over.
set up altars. It was on the 22nd this year, and it was beautiful. And I've been for several years, and it's amazing. And actually, I write about it in my blog. This was from 2008, and since the day is actually over, it's not that important to look at, but it's kind of neat. So if you Google Tamara and Dia de los Muertos, my blog will come up as one of the first
I'm gonna
items.
do it
that
tonight.
You know what?
God.
Here's the thing, and Tammy and Kristen invited
My sister.
me and Sharon and the boys, and they were a few years younger, but it really kind of takes the whole death is bad thing away. and it's really like a celebration of the people that are still around. You just don't get to see them. So
we have
really
like celebrating
we
their
have
life.
a very dear friend who happens to be who died too young and is buried at Hollywood Forever.
that
and
exact-
so
wow.
and this is actually a picture of her grave, because every year we go and we set up a little. Do a little celebration at her grave, and we drink champagne with her, or sometimes we drink martinis, and we have a party, and it's really a beautiful thing. And
but growing up, you pass the cemetery, the cemetery, but this is the first time you go.
It's
no,
scary when
come
you're
on
little.
in.
It's scary.
But it's a huge party. Everyone is just like going, and here's the cool thing about it: they are actually partying with their ancestors.
Yeah,
and you do have to
it's
celebrate
really cool.
life in that way. I went to a funeral this weekend, and it was a
we were talking about
gigantic,
that.
it was a gigantic
celebration.
Latino, celebration.
Right.
The mariachis were there. The food was good.
That's what we were talking about.
And as sad as the
They had
situation
piñatas
is,
and tequila.
There was no piñatas, but just in general, so that's really cool that you are took advantage.
So
Well,
of
are
that.
they running on the Irish as far as partying at a wake?
Say what?
I said, are the Latinos going after the Irish as far as partying at a wake?
Going after? What do you mean going after?
I mean, are they trying
That's
to
a big
outdo
step.
the
Yeah.
Irish?
Oh, I don't know if it's
Wait,
a...
why? What do you guys do?
Oh, are you kidding? An Irish wake?
Oh.
Is it
Huge.
just a crazy celebration?
Lots of whiskey.
Lots of whiskey.
But
lots of
the
stories.
idea behind the Day of the Dead is that the belief is that the veil between the living and the dead is the thinnest at this time, and so that's why we can commune with those who have passed and have these parties, and it's a really beautiful thing.
It
so.
sort of makes our cow costume. She has
I'm
a whole
sorry.
storyline.
No,
We're
no,
just like
no.
we're just
We're just
cows.
cows.
Just
No,
cows.
You're cows and you're
Cows
fun.
from Jamaica.
We feel like cows right now.
And we're here to talk about the
Jamaica
sing-off.
So
twist,
we're
though.
cows.
You can go into a party.
That's
go,
great,
but
right?
there's always that one guy that'll go, no, I'm a cow from Jamaica, and everyone goes,
Yeah.
oh my
Yes.
God,
Oh.
Because Jesse told us they have cows in
It's
Jamaica.
gotta be true.
they do.
Yeah.
And you guys
I-
are singing until the cows
They
come
are
home.
not
Yeah, we're
lying.
singing tonight till the cows
we
come
thought
home.
about it. Yeah, we prepped it.
Well, and they were doing it on the sing-off. So, what did you guys think about the opening number?
Such a fun
Anybody?
open. I mean,
As
at
always.
this point, they're always, the camaraderie is there. People don't want to see anyone go, even though we know there's some weaker performers there. And then it's always fun to dress up. Everyone's in dress up. And the music was fun. I like the Ghostbusters moment.
Well, I loved the arrangement of Werewolves of London. Obviously you recognize the lyrics immediately, and it was such a different vocal arrangement, but so fabulous. Didn't you love it?
I like the
Yeah.
opening number. First of all, it must be awesome if you're there. I mean, the power
That
and all
energy,
those voices
crazy.
and everybody.
Yeah.
The other thing I really like about it is the only time you're going to see everybody. Rarely, there was one exception tonight. They're just relaxed.
Yeah.
They're not being judged. They get to go out. They
Not
know what they're going
competing.
to do. They're not competing. They're all working together. They're relaxed. It's fun, and that really was a Broadway number when they started, dancing and stuff. Like, well, dang! And here's the thing: every single one of those people up there could be working on Broadway.
And it's funny, I always see
Right.
performers in that open that shine, kind of what you were saying, there's no pressure, shine almost more than they shine in their normal, competition. It's like they let it all go and it's fun.
no pressure.
Well,
though.
but I also think it's because you have the power behind you. When you've
it's
only
like a
got
group.
4 voices behind you, there's more pressure on one's own voice. But when you've got 50 voices behind you, they're supporting you, and you're just
yeah.
out there having fun. That's how I take it anyway.
It made me want to be a part of a singing group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's
Oh,
like,
I
oh
know.
my gosh, the camaraderie. Could you imagine? I
made me
wanted
just
to
want to
know-
dress up more.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And now, everyone that did the opening number, there were no extra people, right? Those
Right.
were just the people.
That's it.
That,
I know you.
Okay.
You almost forget how many people are actually still
There
in
was
the
a
competition.
ton.
Biggest,
Isn't
biggest
it odd,
cast
though,
ever.
how as it gets smaller, the energy and everything comes up, and
Yeah.
the power and everything is
That is
starting.
weird.
It is weird.
There was like 150, people before, but there wasn't in unison. It wasn't that camaraderie thing. And now we have
Halloween.
less people, but it's more passionate. So.
yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
Halloween too.
It's more
The
passionate.
costumes
Very
and the-
I just-
passionate.
Oh, by the way, wasn't this about the first one where they really did kind of do kind of like a stage sort of focus on the opening? Was that what was different about it? Given
Well,
that
before they would do like vignettes
Right.
of particular groups, it seemed more like this was the entire group altogether. They weren't really separating the groups
right?
out.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
That
more
must have been what
mixed.
was
Yeah.
different.
But
that should be a group.
I know,
And clearly,
I know.
That would be a force right there.
If those people went
You
on
wanna go ahead
tour,
and
I would
manage that?
so
Right?
Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
I know.
Who
right?
needs what?
212 singers.
They were all dressed up, but then our trusty host is not dressed
Did
up
not.
at all.
Well,
Like the
neither were the
closest-
judges.
Yeah, but you would expect that judge.
Well, Sean
host.
Stockman kind of, sort of,
He was
in a
dressed
yellow sweater.
as a Boyz II Men guy.
Yeah, he was.
Nick Lachey, though,
Wait,
actually
he was
was
that
on.
last week too, but it was pink.
That's true.
They were too cool
It should have been
to
orange.
dress up or something.
It should have been orange.
Nick Lachey-
Pink last week for breast cancer. It should have been
True.
orange for
Black and orange.
All right.
Halloween.
He was actually dressed up, though. He filled in for Regis this morning.
Oh, yeah.
And this was kind of funny because we talk about Halloween and the word death does come up. The death of a marriage. He was actually
awkward.
very awkward. He was Chris Humphries and Kelly Ripa was Kim Kardashian. So
Yeah.
he did dress up earlier in the morning, you know.
Yeah.
Very interesting how
Was
that
it-
happened.
Was it funny?
It had to be funny because today was the official announcement of the breakup. So
72
yeah.
days.
weird.
They've been married
Yeah.
for 72 days.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Was Nick actually funny at something?
Well, we were laughing at him, so there's that. Yeah.
He'll take it.
Yeah.
He'll take it.
Let's go on
Not
to
a
the
fan.
show. So we're going to open with Urban Method, who did a Rihanna medley. They did What's My Name, Only Girl in the World, and Umbrella. And I thought the wall of sound was really there, which I thought was great. Mike, the rapper, just cute as a button. I thought that the first song, which was What's My Name, I think, well
Yeah, I believe so.
executed. And I thought that the transition from song 1 to song 2, so from that song to Umbrella, I thought it was really weak. And I thought Umbrella was fantastic. I really thought that was
the
like
last one, right?
That
No,
was the
second
middle
one.
song.
And one of the
second song.
judges didn't like Umbrella. They said
Right.
it kind of was loose there.
I
You don't agree with that? Because I kind of saw
Did
it
he say it
as
was loose
not,
in the middle?
Not my favorite. Out
that
of
the
the
middle
three,
one?
yeah, that was Umbrella was the second one.
See, I really liked it. Maybe it's just because it's such a catchy song. And then the transition to the third one I thought was fantastic, and the ending was really strong. Ben Folds completely disagreed with me, and I think we might have to break up.
That never happens.
So sad, Ben.
I think Urban Method, I think they misstepped because when they did their film, they said, last week they said that the girls weren't up enough.
Oh, yeah.
So we're really going to showcase the girls. And that wasn't the note they
I
were
don't
given.
think that's what they meant.
What they meant was they were too buried in that song, in that mix, and that you weren't utilizing the voice.
Right.
And
They
so
weren't
what,
meshing.
what they heard was, let's get the girls out front. Well, you've just tipped the scales in the other direction. You still haven't evened it out, which is what they were asking for. So I listen, I don't know Rihanna's tunes, but I was kind of bored.
Yeah.
I think there's always been dynamic problems with Urban Method. I think
Yeah.
they get to one level and they don't make it exciting. They don't drop. They don't bring it up. So
I just feel like that girl, the blonde, seems to be the weakest in the group. And the group, you talk about dynamic. Their dynamic is so weird because they're always being advertised as, oh, this great rapper. Like,
Right.
With that, because I'm hearing them, great rapper, and then I'm like, but Troy's really good as a singer. So we're not with this group, we never get a well-rounded sensibility on them ever, really. So.
And they were in the bottom 2, as it turned out. So I wonder if the placement of them being the opening group had anything to do with their ending up being in the bottom 2.
Why? I mean,
Well, just because sometimes because it's a hard position to be in. You either sort of either sail or fail. When you're in the very beginning. And I just coined it right here,
No,
right
I like
now.
that.
I did.
Exclusive.
copywritten.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I know in comedy you always want to follow somebody really funny.
Right.
You never
So you
want to
can
follow,
ride on their success.
Absolutely. Now that
'Cause the
everybody's
energy's up, yeah.
energized, right? But in music, I mean, that was a big opening. I don't know
Yeah.
how much time is spent between those two things. You got to separate everybody, get them all settled in, reset, and all that sort of stuff. But
Good point.
I
yeah.
think obviously they're scoring as they're going,
Yeah.
and I think they just went back and went, no. I mean, of the 7, they and I agree
Well-
with it. I didn't think they brought it.
You know how
I
we
didn't
all-
either. It wasn't my favorite. I thought there were rough spots. Too much the girls. Not a fan of
That
the
blonde
girls.
is,
I
yeah.
don't think their voices aren't like powerful enough for me. It doesn't throw me over the edge.
When we watch the sing off us 4, we're always like, oh, who's gonna be the one voted off? And it's funny because I think I literally looked at the groups like who went first, second, third, fourth, and then you do go to your notes as like, well, they were the first and they were unmemorable, and therefore I'm gonna pick them as.
Right.
So you're right about going
Right.
first. Really, if you don't kill it, you're.
Because you've got to be remembered all the
And I
way through
think-
the next 5, 6
That's right.
groups.
That's
Yeah.
right.
But here's
Yeah.
the thing: if you're first and you nail it, like you do something
Different.
like Dartmouth did,
Yeah, you can't.
That's
you
different.
I know you can't
yeah.
wait to get to that.
I
yeah.
know.
then everybody is gonna pale in comparison, and you're gonna continually. So
well, so then we went on to Vocal Point doing Elvis, which was I was so looking forward to it. Iconic singer, obviously. Don't Be Cruel, Can't Help Falling in Love with You, and Jailhouse Rock. So I loved the intro that they introduced. You know, ladies and gentlemen. And but my one criticism was I thought their whole piece was fantastic, but their first song with Don't Be Cruel was too short. It was a really cool opening, but it was like it was done before I even got a chance to settle in.
I wonder why. I mean, do you think they strategically made it shorter?
Maybe because the Jailhouse Rock I thought was fantastic. They were just amazing. I loved the percussion on Can't Help Falling in Love with You. It was so beautiful. And I think, was you? Yeah, you. What did you say about it? Do you remember?
Oh, I felt it's like he was singing. I mean, I know his girlfriend or his wife or whatever she was
whatever
sitting in
she
the
is.
audience. But it seriously felt like, you know, when you're just watching and it's like he was looking at me.
He was mesmerizing.
Oh my gosh. He's
were
looking
cow
right
heat.
at me
You
right
were.
now singing to me.
You were.
You know, and then you told me his wife was sitting there, so.
But I thought that the modulation between Can't Help Falling in Love with You, actually within Can't Help Falling in Love with You, was so beautiful. And that's where they always get me because it's so hard to do well and it's so impressive when you hear it happening.
when you hear somebody do something that's really hard to do, like, you know, later, you just I laugh. You know, and people always think,
like
what are you laughing at? I'm laughing because I'm so happy. I'm laughing because it's such a joyful noise. How can you not laugh? The one thing I thought with the Vocal Point was they got a note about being a little pitchy.
Before.
Last week.
Well, they were on the bubble last week.
And they brought that with them. So when they came out, they're going, we're going to show them that we are not pitchy. And they did. The only problem I had with it was in the middle, Can't Help Falling in Love. I thought the guy was so concentrated on being exactly right that he wasn't relaxed enough, because that song really is a really emotional song.
Love song.
It's a love song. You have to open up. You have to just seriously. It has to come from your soul. It has to come deep.
But they weren't pitchy.
They weren't pitchy, but the reason they weren't pitchy was because he was so locked on making sure he was technically perfect that I don't think he was emotionally.
Is that
isn't
like
that
not
funny
taking
because
a chance?
Kim Lai was just saying.
In a sense, it is
Like
in a
playing
sense.
it safe, maybe?
Yeah, because if you're technically perfect, that means that the emotional aspect generally gets pushed aside.
Yeah, because you're so
really
focused.
Good. Yeah, and that's what I was hearing from him because of that note last week. But I'm sorry.
Well, I was just saying, you know, you're saying the emotion wasn't really connecting for you.
I felt
and Kim
it.
Lai, she absolutely felt the connection. In the third song, in Jailhouse Rock, I loved their breaking it down. I just went, oh,
I didn't think I was
Doesn't
gonna.
that just give you goosebumps?
I didn't think I was gonna like the Jailhouse Rock performance.
I didn't
as
either.
much, and I was like, wow, go ahead.
Because
The
I think
dancing
it's kind
was
of cliche, right?
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be very, you know, real quick, in and out. But it was fun. The dancing was good, and like at that point, I said, you know what? They were on the bubble last week, and it was good to see their confidence. So Jailhouse Rock brought it together. So
they came back.
They were for sure.
I'll say this
in the
though:
group.
if Jailhouse Rock went any longer, it would have gone like it would have tanked really quick.
Yeah,
because
well, that's why it was perfect in the way it was done.
Exactly.
But they cut out just in time.
And that's something they're going to have to start to look out for. Is if you bring in that big moment, you better have a build up to that moment. Otherwise, it drops really quick and it's real noticeable.
So then moving on to Afro Blue doing a Janet Jackson medley. Did anybody love it?
No.
I love Janet Jackson's songs too. So there was a big
and you know, if
disappointment.
you're going to do Janet Jackson, you better do it as well or better.
Well, I think what they were trying to do was they were taking the Afro Blue kind of close harmony jazz,
very jazzy,
and trying to put that onto Janet Jackson.
That's exactly right.
I think what you're saying is exactly right. They should have like kind of used a little of that and then done Janet Jackson instead of totally reinterpreting her with their close harmony jazz, because it didn't work.
Because it gave you no sense of like an up or down. And I just got to see Janet at the Greek, you know, when she did her number ones, and you know she's just fun to watch. And then I also thought, okay, maybe they'll have a level of the dance and the choreography will kind of match up, and that will bring it together.
Right.
But they didn't have that.
No, that didn't happen.
They did the jazzy
They had
the
the hairdos
whole way through, and that
Okay, I did not notice that until he mentioned that.
The hairdos,
whatever.
It was very
I
lackluster.
really was split with these guys on this one because I did like the fact that after they went back to their roots, they went back to the jazz, and they went back to what has made them good up to this
Their
point.
signature sound.
Yeah, and I was really, really happy to see that. A couple of groups did that, and I thought that was really cool. And it's a good time to do that. You've got to start reminding the judges why I'm here and why we deserve to be here, and we are unique. Because at this point, the judges are looking and listening for unique, not necessarily. Everyone's good now. Now you have to be unique. Now you have to bring it to a different level.
Consistent, yeah.
And consistent. But I agree. I don't think Janet Jackson,
Miss Jackson,
Jackson,
if you're nasty.
was the right performer to do this with.
Did they say why they selected her to do their?
You know, let me. Here's what my question during this was: was there a mistake in thinking that a popular artist meant a good song composition?
That's
By
a
the way,
great.
I think that siren's for me.
It was it was like superstar medleys was the category. And one of the things we probably should have talked about this in the beginning, but one of the elements two of the elements that had to be present in their medleys, what they had to be different tempos and different keys.
For all three, right?
And
All
that's
three
fine.
songs.
All three
Yeah.
songs had to be different tempos and different keys.
That's why they were also-
which creates challenge for all of them. And I think that was great that was a requirement from each of them.
I'm going to actually jump in right here. I'm going to ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big fan of Janet Jackson, so I kind of could understand where they would go with the medley. So I want to ask, who was it that chose her?
Oh, we're not told. I mean, it could be the group. I think it was.
No. What group was it?
Afro Blue.
Afro Blue.
So
Sorry.
The jazz.
A more urban group. The thing about Janet Jackson, if you go to her concerts, she, rather than going to a concert with a star where they do, okay, I'm gonna sing this song, then this song. Janet's known for mixing melodies.
It's true,
lot.
yeah.
And also when you listen to a lot of especially her older music. To me, I would almost think that should actually sound like ear candy because there's a lot of different noises with Janet's music. So I would think that they would have a lot to play with.
And they didn't.
Really?
Well, and that's the thing. Like when I
didn't really bring it.
when I was at the Greek and I had great seats, it was a very fun moment. It was her number ones, and you got Pleasure Principle, which was one of my favorite songs, and that went, I think, right into When I Think of You or something like that. But I mean, yeah, going back to what you say, those are all the Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis days, and all of that stuff should be able to jump together very nicely.
Yes.
And I think we nailed it when we said they kept that jazzy thing too much all the way through.
I didn't think it was enough energy.
I felt like, especially the third song, was low tempo, low energy, and I just wanted it to be done. And that's a terrible thing to say.
I know. Yes. Is anyone else over this?
Yeah.
I thought too that.
But I do like Janet.
Should have been way.
I do
That
too.
was the only
but
part
I
over
just
the
don't
top.
think they did a great job with her
Only
stuff.
points I could have gave them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah, I
didn't,
think
they didn't do
they-
any of the signature dances. That
I think
would
they
have
felt
been
like
fun.
they had to make a decision.
Yeah.
I think they didn't trust that. Look, you can do, like you were saying, you can do Janice, drop a jazz transition into here, Janice, drop your jazz transition.
But not the whole.
But if you'll remember what the judges said, the words we talked about this in the room was, Sean said that was interesting and ambitious, and I turned to Steve and I go, interesting equals weird, and ambitious means you didn't do it very well.
Interesting choices.
And
that's true.
somebody else said interesting as well, and I just thought, that's just the kiss of death.
And it's so interesting on who you choose too. Like superstar doesn't necessarily mean vocally like one of the stronger people, you know. So
That's what
you can
that was
go
my point.
with Madonna, and it's
Janet.
like, is Madonna the greatest singer in the world?
Right.
The answer we know, you know. So
If you tell me that you need to do a superstar of melodies in this genre, I'm not going to say, okay, who's the biggest star? I'm going to look at the music and decompose the music and say, what song is going to give me the biggest range, the biggest punch? Which we found out whose it was.
Who?
Yeah.
Steve?
you guys were so into it.
It was Dartmouth
Dartmouth
Airs doing
As
Queen.
soon as they said
That was
Queen, I
great.
just sat back and went, "Oh, that's genius." And
Did any of us write? Did
I
you
didn't write anything.
I did actually. So they opened
I
with
did write one thing.
Killer,
I did too, one
Killer
thing.
Queen, which was again a little short but beautiful.
Well, that's because they had to have time for
To do, yeah.
Because it's just
They had
like
a
it's
full
Freddie Mercury
performance
just
ready.
singing, so you had to get to it. So then they do Bohemian Rhapsody, which was awesome, and the transition into Somebody to Love, because I was kind of waiting for the
we were all gonna
Yeah,
Wayne's
Wayne's
World it
World.
out, yeah. But we
And-
didn't, and we didn't need to.
no,
It was
Because
no.
Mike just came in there and
Oh Oh my god.
It was Mike, right? Yeah,
it was Mike, and he was insane.
The first thing I thought of this performance was,
Michael, actually.
Other shows like Dancing with the Stars, they'll do an encore. I'm thinking like the finale. Can we all vote? Sing off people on Facebook.
No
Let's
kidding.
vote to bring this performance
back
because it was so good.
It was amazing.
The only one we didn't
That's all I
write. No
thought
one
was
wrote notes.
amazing.
No, last week we had. I did write one notes. I said, "How many agents are calling Michael right now?"
Yeah.
He's awesome.
He is. Seriously, this guy, what a package. He's got a voice. He's got a look. He's got a swagger.
Yeah.
He's got such a good stage
Swagger.
presence.
I like that.
Last week we were talking about the advantage of a large group versus a small group, and about how you're going to have to start changing it up. This is a perfect example. These guys went, we've got these voices, now we've got to break them down and make it seem like there's less, but bigger. The group that didn't do that ended up on the bubble. But this is an excellent example of rethinking your group, because Queen was 4 people. And Freddie Mercury.
Well, but multiplied, tracks
exactly, but
multiplied
that was
over and over
mostly
again.
Freddie Mercury doing all of those, and some of the other guys, stepped in.
Yeah.
And so if they all tried to just not break it down like that, it would have been horrible. They nailed it. Was just such. If anybody wants to see an excellent example of what this show is about, just YouTube the Dartmouth Air's Queen.
That performance, if you haven't seen it already. I thought it was risky. I thought it was incredibly difficult to do. And they absolutely brought me to tears. And I had to fix my makeup because
the theatrics.
Shoot, you were about to walk in here as a clown.
Yeah, I was. I had to go fix my makeup. It was just insane.
I love in the opening package how Michael talks about, I was raised, on Queen's music.
Yeah.
And, we were just talking about why the Janet Jackson performance didn't connect. Well, one of the girls in that group said repeated, a couple times.
I've never heard it.
I wasn't even alive when Janet was around.
I was born 6 years ago.
So, there might be that factor.
No
if you
connection.
know it, you grew up on the songs, you're going to...
you have some emotional connection
to it. That's something,
Yep.
was kind of cool that I thought, they talked about.
Well, and in the package, they showed Michael not hitting that note.
Was that like
I think we were all on pins and needles when that came.
Okay, and again,
we were all waiting and waiting.
Again, did I not say if I were going to do a package, I would absolutely pimp something that I know I could do and give it the whole, I don't know if I can do this.
It's called a preemptive strike.
Like, you don't know what they're going to edit, but at the same time, you know what you're saying. And me and Steve always recognize those. Like, those packages really sell the story. So be smart when you talk,
Well, but I don't think he was acting when he wasn't hitting that note.
No. I think
based
on how the rest of the band looked at him, the rest of the group.
But when it
oh my God,
really mattered.
Oh my God.
It worked.
Seriously,
It worked.
I wrote Queen. I set my pen down and just went, go.
No notes.
Just go.
Yeah. There are a couple of these that as I watch them, I go back and watch them on YouTube or on NBC because I think NBC, and this is one of them. Watch again.
Definitely. Goosebumps. I had goosebumps.
So then we had Pentatonics do a Britney medley, and they said in their package they were going to do a mashup instead of a medley, and it was like kind of a half-assed mashup into a real medley. Right? Wasn't it?
Yeah. I thought my notes are, so this was Britney in the rehab moments. That doesn't make any sing-off sense, but that's what I thought.
Okay.
And I can't really...
I can say it's not a compliment.
That's pretty funny.
And I can't really attack the physical, but I just think the only girl in the group, she was... she was wearing a type of dress where she was just she
Little
looked,
Tina Turner.
There is I think at McDonald's I think there's a 50 nugget deal for like $10. I think she may have ate that right before the performance.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't very flattering.
Not a
Please
good
co-sign
look.
me.
It wasn't flattering.
Unnecessary roughness.
I thought it was a hard act because they were following. It's Dartmouth Airs. How do you say their name?
Dartmouth.
I think it was very difficult for them because they were following Dartmouth. You have that too.
Tough
To follow Queen.
I also think with Britney, it's like her shows, her songs, they're so produced. There's always so much going on that I think emulate. Is that the right word? Mm-hmm. It's hard to emulate. Did you write that too?
No.
Oh, okay. It's so hard to emulate that.
Right.
I didn't care for the girl in her outfit. That's a perfect example of distraction.
Right.
I couldn't stop looking at the dress, and
As
it's
opposed
like,
to complimenting.
wow, the shirt it's not fitted in any way.
Wow.
Oh,
This was one of the bands where I think they didn't go back to what made them strong. Up to this point, they've always had a cool twist on something. Last week it was the dance. The week before that, they had a cool electronic breakdown thing. They're always bringing something different. This time, and again, I really think just because they're popular doesn't mean song structure's right here. And Britney Spears songs are not really that. There's not a lot of dynamics there.
It didn't grab me.
They didn't have that moment.
Said.
They didn't have the pentatonics moment where you go, oh, there's a cool thing.
Right.
I think they wanted to go for it and then kind of chickened out or whatever and didn't. And
Well, here's another. I don't even understand why she got selected. Why would you choose to do a medley
and not the Beach Boys? I don't know.
You know, you and the Beach Boys.
on the Beach Boys.
You know, it's
interesting. The judges didn't mind. I don't know. They said some nice stuff about her.
They did. They liked.
I was shocked by that. If anything, at the very end, though, when you hold it against me song, I thought was if anything saved them, it would have been that one. What's the little guy's name? There's the two. There's the blonde, the tall one. He, if anything, kind of saved it at the end. But
but in that package, they were also having a disagreement about what they're going to do, and the guy said, "Okay, well then we're having an argument," or there was some sort of
this is
he goes,
serious
"We're having an
disagreement.
argument."
Yeah, we're having a disagreement here or
this
something.
second.
So maybe they weren't all on board with the direction they wanted to go with it. And again, for me, it always goes back to song. Do you think the Dartmouth Airs had any question about how they were going to do that or whether or not it was a good choice?
Of course not.
Not based on their performance.
No.
Because the songs were right.
Right.
I think everyone that was struggling went with a bad choice. There's nothing in the song. There's no there in a lot of these songs.
Yeah.
right.
It's nice
Song
ear
selection,
candy. It's
huge.
but if you break it down and make it interesting, it's like playing with. There's nothing
Right.
here.
Cotton
What?
candy. Yeah.
Where are the other three chords?
I thought they were pitchy too.
Okay.
I did.
All right. Okay.
No one else has that written down.
All right. Then we had Delilah doing an Alicia Keys medley.
Didn't like it.
I thought that the first song, what was their first song? I don't know what it was.
They started with Fallen.
Oh, Fallen,
yeah,
right.
It sounded,
right.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a really good opening. I thought it was hot. I thought it was pretty sounding and looked pretty. And then it kind of didn't really do anything from there.
I thought transition, like going into the second song was bad, and I thought from second song to third song also was bad on the transition. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've succumbed to peer pressure, and I don't like them anymore because you guys don't like them.
Well, they're really.
So now I can't even give them. I can't be objective.
They're turning into the Sanjaya, I think it was his name from American Idol of this show.
Ouch.
Like they keep singing the show.
Bad girls.
Unnecessary roughness.
Bad.
What's in this water?
I know.
It's all vodka, baby. No. Yeah.
That's 30 yards so far.
I'm almost out of this room.
Here's my note on it. I said, this is like the wedding scene in The Deer Hunter. It's just too long and nothing's happening.
Okay.
And it's interesting to watch in the beginning. But seriously, was this the one where I turned to you and said, are we done
Yeah, are we
yet?
done yet? Can you please
It's
fast
just-
forward?
and then my other note is, well, maybe the originals aren't interesting. I don't know. Because
No,
again,
they're
I don't
solid,
know.
yeah.
But
Oh, the
and
Alicia
let's talk
Keys?
about the
okay,
package.
but that's the
originals?
thing. If the
Yeah.
original is solid and the original is a good song, then why is that not translating when you take all the production value away?
Because it's Delilah.
Maybe, or maybe when you take the production value away,
No,
you're left with nothing.
You
I
know
don't
what
know.
though?
Yes, Jesse?
I've heard Alicia Keys, especially Fallen. I've heard that a cappella, and I've heard some people do it amazing. And I don't know
Then
if they did
maybe
No
it's
One,
Delilah.
the song No One, but that's another Alicia Keys
But
song.
see,
a cappella
Delilah
wise.
didn't do it amazing.
No. Well, no, I'm saying.
So it has-
I
it
just
has
wanna
the
say
potential.
It's not the production. It's
The group.
Performers.
See, I
Yeah.
told you it's Delilah.
Okay,
She does
there
have
you
some
go.
great songs. In the
Yeah.
package, the one girl goes, "We're doing Alicia Keys. What could go wrong with that?" I was like, maybe
yeah.
not performing it
Yeah.
as good as Alicia Keys. Just
Maybe
my
not
thought,
doing
yeah.
very well.
Yeah.
My only
maybe
other
not.
note on this was I think the judges were saying goodbye when they were giving
That
their
was
notes.
funny.
they were
you said
talking
that.
for
That
so
was
long.
real.
Time. You know, when you guys are singing it somewhere like in an airplane, I think
It was like the advice hour.
On your way home.
on your way home, when you're on the bus thinking,
Never give up on your dreams, like everything. Like when you said that, like I kind of got it, but once he said it, it was like we could hear everything right after. I was like, yeah, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
That was a good
Yeah,
call.
but were they? Dun 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
They're gonna win the whole competition. I'm telling you.
Probably.
They will not. They will not. Bite your tongue.
Yeah.
Next, we had the Yellow Jackets doing a Billy Joel medley. Okay, here's my thing. I really love Billy Joel. Incredibly talented, broad base of song styles, and they just messed up their choices of songs.
yeah.
I thought that was
I
just
agree.
ridiculous. Why didn't they
I
do
agree.
Ballad of Billy the Kid or Scenes from Italian Restaurant or something that was so much more interesting?
Come on, open up with Piano Man.
Right, when
Again,
you're
song
Piano
selection.
Man.
when
They
you're
don't have the
talking
right
about a guy
songs.
who does amazing things with a piano, you're doing a cappella, you can do things like, crickets and things. Do that.
They could do that, right, with their mouth? Piano
Yes,
sounds?
they absolutely
They did
could,
Wind.
and it would be
There's no
amazing.
rules. I mean, you can.
brought
Evidently,
the
the only
wind.
rule you can't do is a cymbal. The judges didn't like
Yeah,
hearing
exactly.
a
They
fake
didn't like
cymbal.
the cymbals.
That's the wind.
Tammy, I totally agree. I thought when they came up with Billy Joel and then they started singing it, here's what I got. Disney opening, Hakuna Matata.
Right. Safe. It was safe, is what
It
I
was
was thinking.
absolutely safe. And
Yeah.
here's the other thing about this. You know that they are comparing the Yellow Jackets to the Dartmouth Arrows.
That's
Those
right.
are the only two big
Wait,
bands.
what about Vocal Point?
They're not as...
kind of vocal point,
Because I
but
thought it was like little brother to Vocal Point.
Well, oddly enough, I didn't think Vocal Point... I've always seen Dartmouth Arrows and Yellow Jackets as the two competing big
I agree
groups.
with you about that.
And I think when they came out, they're
they're
thinking,
amazing
okay,
ones.
all right, here's Dartmouth Arrows. They've sent the bar. They've
Yeah.
said it.
Yeah.
Right.
And you guys are just like walking up and looking at it at this point. You're not doing anything with it. And yeah, it was just...
Well, the thing is that I think Vocal Point has more personality. They show up more just
Yeah.
in their personality, whereas the other two groups just kind of come on as one big voice. And that's why I think they're comparable. Because I agree with you on that.
Oh, okay.
Shockingly.
No.
Exceedingly
That's
agree.
First
you're
agreement
true.
in 20 years.
Vocal Point does have the whole big thing. You know,
Yeah.
we're going to perform. Dartmouth Arrows, they have these voices in Michael.
Right.
They're
right.
kind of going, he's our strong point.
He's our guy.
Hey, let's do a song and put him out front.
Yeah.
And Yellow Jackets have, again, it's up with people.
What
And
about those-
It finally got to the point where they just went, oh, we're done.
What about
Right.
those song choices? I mean, do you guys think that they sit there and say, well, let's do the songs that maybe all of America will know more? I mean, I'm
Well,
wondering.
no, because I don't think so. I think what they did was they chose songs and they went, let's look at the Billy Joel catalog and see what works best for a cappella.
Does anyone
You know?
help them?
I don't know. I assume so because I know I just. Well, first of all, we already talked about this, that there are clearance issues that they have to
Yes.
deal with and that sort of thing. And there are times when the group, I think they have arrangers helping them when they need it. But I just think their song choices were really short-sighted. You know, they picked Up With People instead of, real, true, core Billy Joel songs. I just thought it was a bad
actually
idea.
Chime in again because it's funny
Please
you
do.
said that, Ronnie. Because last night I was actually strolling along online and I came across the Britney Spears medley was all over the internet.
Of-
So from tonight's
From the
single,
one we
no
just watched?
kidding.
Yeah,
from
last night?
night.
Pentatonic.
Oh,
Yep. So I was really interested because I was like, wow, I didn't think that you would be able to see the episode.
No kidding.
So early.
Prior, yeah.
But it was blasted all over the place. Like they did an amazing job. I actually didn't click it to watch it. I watched a little bit. I saw the toxic part. But all the blogs were raving about it. And so it's interesting you mentioned, are they picking songs that America is looking for because they picked Britney and now their name is all over the blogs.
That is true. Yeah.
Oh, I don't even know what to say about that. That's
I think people
really
do.
interesting.
I mean, well, for one, you got a group of how many people, and then you probably have the creative people that work behind the scenes.
Right.
So that's a whole lot of people saying, there's probably a bunch of people who thought, let's do Piano Man, but then, you know what I mean? So it's creative differences in that way.
Really, do you think they really are looking at, okay, once live voting starts, it seems like if they're doing it that way, they're trying to position themselves in live voting, because I can't imagine the judges taking a look at that saying, well, it wasn't good, but it's a popular song, so I'm going to give them points for that.
No.
You know what I mean? You've got your choice. You can go popular or you can go correct.
The only
Right.
thing
And
I think,
if you're singing for, at this point, you're still singing for 3 people. So I would
Right.
think you want to go for correct. And I'm going back with you on Yellow Jackets. I don't think the songs were correct. They may be the most popular Billy Joel songs,
Right.
but I don't think they're the correct ones.
I think a lot of these groups are young, and I think sometimes their confidence is not there. So I think when they get in these big groups, if you do a song that you know that crowd that's sitting there watching you, you know, on the lot there, if they respond to it because they're so familiar with it, I think that's probably a thriving force why they continue to pick very popular songs versus, you know, there's like, you talked about Alicia Keys. I love Alicia Keys' music, and there's so many choices they could have went, but they were going to do Fallen, which was like the first thing she ever did as far as like, you know, for America to see.
Everything.
Which is a great song though, but you know.
But the Yellow Jackets also have a big fan base in the audience. I mean, you know, all his parents and everything, and that didn't seem to win them any extra points.
That is true. Yeah.
So, do you want to talk about what happened to the Yellow Jackets?
Well, we can. We can. You know, I mean.
Well, first we have a really good performance.
The
best of the night.
What did I just do? I stepped on the commitment.
No, the committed, who you've never seen perform before, right?
No, I have not seen.
How many weeks, or now we're getting into months, have I been telling you to go watch them online? I've even sent you links.
It was last week.
They won the second season.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right?
Last season.
They were the winners.
I always forget that they didn't sing before. They only sang gospel songs. I always forget that because they're so good now.
They weren't good before?
They are a gospel group from the South. And they only sang gospel music. They never sang a secular song before being on the sing-off in season 2.
And they won.
Only sang religious songs. And so so next they're singing like, you know, just Chris Brown songs and whatever. And they were they're brilliant. They are brilliant.
They did smash those Chris Brown songs.
They did.
Guy that came out in the tux that I don't remember his name, but these cute big teeth. He sang. His voice was fabulous.
They're all
so. There was one at the beginning
with
the
dreads.
Lots of dreads.
Yeah, they're very popular these days.
Yes.
And then the tall, lanky guy came out.
Yeah, they're the two kind of standouts from their group, and I don't remember their names either. But I'm telling you, you guys need to watch what they did. Maybe you should go check your emails, which you do like every 3 weeks,
pretty much.
and look at the links that I sent you out like 6 weeks ago, and check them out. They're just amazing and just adorable guys. Their album just came out. They were talking about how this was a dream come true for them, and just.
I am such a fan of the journey, of course. So for us to all see the package of like them performing last year, we saw them doing press, and just like they're humble, like, oh, we're in the studio, we got our deal. Like I loved seeing that moment, and then they went out there and performed just to meet that those expectations. So that was good.
And it was a fantastic performance.
It was cool to see all the different groups.
It's fun to see them perform now and realize how much stress and pressure the other groups are under every time they're on the stage, because they're so relaxed, and it's just like, are you kidding? We don't have any of this now, so now we can have fun, and that comes through in their performance. And then you look at everyone else, is just like I said, some of them are really tight, some are stressed. You know, oh my God, we were on the bubble last week and everything. So.
Oh, you're saying they had no stress performance?
Oh no, the committed.
Yeah,
no,
because they're just doing it for the joy of it.
Committed.
They were so relaxed and just like, are you kidding? We're out of the studio. Finally, we get to do what we love.
Watching, we were relaxed. That was the one song, or one medley that all of us, I think, had our hands in the air. Like they said, put your hands up, so we did.
But you know, these guys are saying, look, all we're doing is rehearsing and singing. And to a singer, that sounds like, you know, awesome. You would love that. But there's always this competition. There's always this thing in the back of your head like going, oh my God, we have to do it. And then we get back in the ring next week. And then we get back in the ring next week. And these guys are like, we're out of the ring. Are you kidding? We're having a great time.
Yeah.
I have to say,
most of you won't make it.
I have to say, though, Committed and Street Corner Symphony, who were the top 2 last season, they really stood out most of the season. And they were my favorites, you know, kind of at this point in the competition. They impressed me so much. They're just incredibly talented, and they gave me chills. They made me cry, you know, every time they sang. And I'm not feeling that with the groups that are in the competition now.
There's no definite winner. Yeah,
there isn't for me. I mean, you watched all of last season too.
Most of that.
Do you have a sense of that as
like,
well?
There's no like commanding leader. I don't know, like I like Vocal
or your
Point.
personal favorite, even not so much.
Well, it changes week by week, and that's what we're getting this season. We're getting like, oh wow, I like Vocal Point this week, and then the next week,
they really missed it.
That's what we're getting this season.
Early on, I thought Afro Blue was just gonna like, oh
just
my
gonna kill it.
God,
And
thank you.
And then they make choices that are just ridiculous these days.
And now Dartmouth Errors are coming out where you're just like going, okay, this is 3 weeks now where they've brought something out and really. And next week they're going to stumble, and you're like, oh, well, hey, how about?
It'll go back to Vocal Point.
Vocal Point is great.
Which I think ends up making for a really interesting competition because you never know what's going to happen each week. So I guess we should be happy about that.
Oh, I'm enjoying it. It's been great.
So Dartmouth Errors were safe, Vocal Point safe, Pentatonic safe, Delilah reluctantly safe, Afro Blue, and then we had Urban Method and Yellow Jackets. And let's just talk about what the room voted before while we paused.
We had set that up for you is what we did. we secretly went to Twitter. We knew this. No, we didn't.
We all went with Yellow Jacket, and you go, well, I'm going to go with Yellow Jacket too.
What a moment she had.
Whatever. We'll all go to Urban Method.
Liar.
I think I went with Urban Method.
You all went with Urban Method.
We did. Listen,
there was only one winner.
And I swear, normally I check out who the winner is before, and I swear this week I did not because I didn't have time because I was busy putting on makeup and making those damn darn tarts.
And they're good too.
And they're delicious. And the makeup's good. So I did not know, but I was not swayed by the Yellow Jackets, and I stood by it. And I gotta say, once again, we got to see an awesome swan song. Wasn't it fantastic?
Chumbawamba.
So do you think if they did all their songs like that, they probably wouldn't have been out?
That's what happens with all of them.
Honestly,
there's always good swan songs.
I think the Dartmouth Errors knocked the Yellow Jackets out.
I agree.
I really think they did.
I agree.
It was their time. There was no like, oh, Yellow Jackets are leaving. You were ready for them to go. It was fine. Yeah. And great swan song. Yeah. They changed the lyrics a lot.
Which was adorable.
That NBC was cute.
Yeah,
they
were pushing on the words. Yep. I get knocked down, but I get back up again, which was awesome. We're coming back. And then they linked in the NBC thing, which will probably run on every promo over and over and over again.
Yeah. Benny Boy and Sarah Boy and Johnny Boy.
They called in all the judges.
So cute. I thought it was fantastic.
You might as well do that. Yeah, live it up at the moment.
Like we said, if we knew it was going to be that coolest swan song, we would have voted you off a long time ago.
That's kind of like what you were saying, yeah.
Would have voted you off early. So, but honestly, I really thought Delilah was going to go. I really thought it was going to be Delilah.
I'm going to have to research online and see if there's a Sanjaya
I thought they were going to go.
Equal. Like, there's got to be like a website that says bring Delilah back every single week, no matter how bad they are.
You know what I will say is I'm reading Facebook a lot, and every chance I get, and a lot of the, comment pages, so many people want the North Shore back.
Oh, I was going to bring them up right now.
Over and over and over again. People are just constantly commenting. Maybe you may not have been here when they were in. They were the guys from Massachusetts, from Boston, older guys who sang classic doo-wop. And they left 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and we still miss them, and a lot of viewers still miss them.
But do you think they would have made the long run, though? I mean,
I don't know.
They could have went longer than they did, but they were not going to make the long run. I don't think they would have,
and the reason why I don't think they would have is because this is a really, really tough competition.
And they didn't have the range.
It's grinding, and you really need to get like blinders on and not know what you can't do. Every week you've got to go, we can do this, we can do this.
Right.
And these guys they're excellent at what they do, but what they do is really kind of contained.
Yeah, I think the one group that could change it up the most, we're starting to see, is the Vocal Point. They're the ones I kind of see going different directions. Yeah.
Well, before you talk any more about that, I think we need to take a little commercial break because then we'll talk about predictions when we come back. Okay, so let's take a commercial and we'll be back.
Want to find out what the AfterBuzz is about?
Janice is a drama queen.
This is the divide that is going to carry the series.
Give us a call. 424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
It's television, and they want it to be as dramatic as possible.
I mean, it's Shakespearean.
You never know what goes on behind closed doors.
Find out why AfterBuzz TV is the #1 source for after-show content.
Now, in the eyes of Jimmy, Nucky is a villain.
424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
I mean, who would you guys rather hear that from? Your husband or your best friend?
The wig
The wig will come out.
When the TV show is over, get your AfterBuzz on.
Okay, we are back on this fabulous Halloween night, and apparently Kim Lai's got some big plans going on after this, so we need to get done quick. Because
She's gonna get
Come
milked.
on, jeez, let's go.
That
Wrap
ain't
it
well
up.
played.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I predict
She has
all
a
of
date
those
with the
tarts
Jersey
are going to be
maid.
eaten by me on my way home in the
No,
car.
I wanna try
I'm having
one.
one. Oh, you haven't had one yet?
No,
Oh,
because I
that's
didn't know that you made them, and I thought they were here all day.
Tamara, is there somewhere somebody can find out on how to make those?
Oh,
Yeah, give us your twist secrets.
Perhaps they could go to tamaracentral.com and they could find all sorts of things. They could find my blog that I've been talking about. They can find everything. And if you want to know that recipe, I'll give it to you. But I don't have one. I just made it up.
Just call her. I'll give you the number. Just call her anytime with any
818
question.
No, I'm kidding.
No, I'm in the 310, honey.
Oh, 310.
310, yes.
Guess the rest.
So next week we're going to be doing, we have 6 groups, country and epic rock anthems. So it's going to sort of be the
They
gamut.
pick one or the other, or they
No.
combine?
Each group is going to do 2 songs.
Got
So
it.
once again, we're going to have a 2-hour show.
3-hour show.
It's just killing me, these 2-hour shows.
Yeah, I used to watch The Biggest Loser every single week, and
Yeah.
when they started doing the 2-hour shows and the hour-long eliminations, I have not watched Biggest Loser in like 3 years because of that.
I know.
Just the way I feel.
I know.
Yeah.
The great thing about this, though, is
So much-
it's so much more entertaining.
It is. It's
Yeah.
not a lot
It
of that.
really
And
is.
we'll get back to you after the break.
Yeah.
They don't do that on
Yeah.
this show. I mean,
Wow.
it's really
That's true.
pretty
You're
much
right,
packed.
there isn't a lot of that.
And we have me on the remote.
Well, that helps too.
Can she win an award for remote
Here's the thing.
control? I
don't
did,
have
I did the
commercials.
remote on another show once, and I was so bad compared to you. You are like, we get little to no Nick Lachey.
Very little Nick Lachey.
We don't get, the recaps. We know everything because we watch every single show. You're pretty good at that.
Thank
Another
you.
talent
Thank
by
you.
Tamara.
It's a lot
There
of
were-
practice.
There
all I
were
can
2
say.
times that I really wished I was there tonight in that audience. One was for the opening, and one was for the Queen
You know, I
thing.
just want to say, if you go to the Facebook page for the sing-off, they're having a sweepstakes, giving away tickets for the finale, which is a live finale.
They already did Queen. I don't care.
And no, but maybe they'll bring them back.
Right, 'cause
Maybe
it was
they'll
such a
impress you.
great
more.
performance.
Maybe they'll do a Beach Boys medley in the finale, Steve. I would love to be there, and I'm starting this
Beach
week
Boys
with
and
my
Queen.
writing campaign talking about I'm Tamara from AfterBuzz, and I really would like to be there.
You've
for the
got to, yeah.
night. See if I
When
can get
is
some
the
of our
finale?
producers on it. It's November 28th, I think it is.
Okay.
So predictions
can
for
get-
next week. Ronnie, what you were saying?
No, I mean, I'm just saying my prediction is that Vocal Point may be one of the groups that rises to the occasion only because of the diversity that they seem to be able to bring. Great personalities, good attitudes. They have the little bit of storyline sometimes.
Yeah.
That guy, the lead, I can't remember his name always, the one who had the wife in the audience today. Obviously, if he's connecting that well to Kim Lai and she's salivating, clearly he's doing something right. And they'll be the one group I feel that could, like, okay, let's say Urban Method, Afro Blue, are they gonna jump into a country song tomorrow? I'm not saying they can't, but it may be a challenge, and Vocal Point will continue.
I agree with you. I think Afro Blue and Urban Method are potentially going to have some issues, just because, especially Afro Blue, maybe trying to move into the country genre and the rock genre. I think that's so hard for them, and it might not be their fort.
That word.
I just don't want to hear next week. Oh, this is not our genre. So
Right.
outside of the
Oh,
comfort
you
zone.
just pimped what I was going to say.
Every
I
week
said
is
my
outside of your
prediction-
comfort zone. That's the competition.
That's what it is.
My
exactly.
prediction
I
was
don't
going to
understand why
be
they say
we
that.
are going to hear over and over and over. We
Country
don't do
music
this.
is not.
Isn't it
We
meant to
don't
be
do
out
this.
of your comfort zone? That's the point.
Yeah, I think it is.
You know-
that is the whole point. I listen. I agree with. Ryan. I think you're right. I think someone's going to step up and is going to come out of the blue. I don't think we're going to expect it. I don't know if it's going to be Vocal Point. It may actually be Urban Method. When you get on the bubble, you kind of go, we better do something. But I do hope Pentatonics, unless we're completely missing the Britney Spears thing.
Yeah.
Sorry if we are,
Yeah.
interwebs.
a million YouTube hits. Yeah.
I really hope they come back with something really pentatonic.
Because they're talented,
Yeah.
really
and
are.
they just kind of missed it this week.
Yeah.
Country music to me is something that can really showcase great vocals. So I think there's an opportunity, unlike other genres, which were more beat oriented, or the rock anthems, which is going to definitely be more sort of noise, and I don't mean noise in the literal sense, I mean lots of sort of showmanship going on. I think country music can really showcase the vocals. So we may get to see.
Do we have any song choices that we think it would be great to see next week?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if they're going to go with traditional country western, if they're going to go with modern country western. I mean, there's a lot of great. There's a lot of great.
What a woman you are!
Make sure, you're really something.
There's a lot of great older country western or country western songs.
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
I have a favorite song.
But
Do you?
Country western.
I want to know what you guys think about it.
No, tell us.
The song "Remember When" is a country song. Would that be like? I'm not smart enough in that sense to know if it would make for a good
Is
acapella.
that Alan Jackson?
You got it, sister. Yeah. I love that
Singing it
song.
in my head.
Yeah.
I know my country.
Yeah, I love that song. And let's go to the rock real quick, the anthems. How many times do we have to hear? It's the lead song on the Rock of Ages, the most popular song out there, rock anthems. Don't Stop Believing. I'm interested to see if that gets butchered or it is shown, well. When I watched
Are they doing it?
I'm sure.
Well,
they're not?
No, I'm not saying. I was just going to say, well, possibly, but it's been done and done to death on Glee.
It scares me. It worries me. Now, when I went to go see Rock of Ages, the play, I was like, wow, it was a pleasant surprise. So I hope I'm pretty sure that song's going to be sang next week. I hope whoever does it, if they do, that they bring it some type of, because it's been done over 1,000 times, like you said.
Well, I think it's
at Dodger games.
It's almost like the guilty pleasures, but focusing it within rock and roll. So I think Steve's going to be really happy next week. That's my prediction.
Well, the first half, maybe. Depending on who goes up first and what songs are doing. Are they doing country western first?
They didn't say. They just said country.
Then they got to, and then come back
and
with
rock
the anthems.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I mean, if it's a song you love, and they don't do it right, but if it's a song you love and they do it right, it's like, what do you think?
Now I'm thinking about doing "Remember When" in karaoke, which I cannot sing, so that would be a YouTube, like a screeching hound dog. Yeah.
Oh, I think it's gonna be awesome.
I think.
Yes.
Vocal point. I was so impressed with that, but I was really impressed with the Dartmouth airs. Who comes up with these names?
Well, they're from Dartmouth College. That's really what it comes down to.
I said that too.
So,
we both.
Wait, do I have to ask about the Yellow Jackets again? No, I'm kidding. Dartmouth airs.
Dartmouth.
Don't bet
airs,
on the Yellow Jackets.
and vocal point. I was just so impressed with the choreography and their togetherness and their vocal abilities and. I don't even have any predictions.
Okay.
I predict next week's going to be a great show, and I'm so excited.
I really hope we have some good steel guitar. That's what I'm looking forward to. So, well, I think that's pretty much it then. So,
fun night.
Kim La Yingling, Ronnie Jr., little beautiful Miss Steve Bottomley, Jesse Janity. I am Tamara Bird for the Sing Off, and we will see you next week.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later. Happy Halloween.
AfterBuzz. The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.